Alrighty, guys. All Facts Media. My name is Aaron Robinson, joined by my twin brother, Andrew Robinson. And today we are joined by Orlando Magic forward, BJ Johnson. So, BJ, thanks for joining us today.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. So, obviously, this year you were back and forth from the NBA to the G League, and you had a great year. Down in the G League with Lakeland Magic, were able to, be named to the G League second team. So, just talk to us a little bit about your season. This past year in the G League, and what was working for you, and how you think you were able to be successful, and just your journey back and forth, from the G League to the NBA, and what that was like for you.
I mean, like you said, I had a pretty solid year this year, but I think a lot of that started last year because I played with Lakeland last year too, and then playing with them just helped me boost my confidence and get me, as prepared as I can to, try to affect the NBA roster and try to help a team out. And last year I got 10 days with Atlanta and then finished with the Kings in the season. So, confidence-wise, all my confidence was there. And then coming in this year, I just carried over what I did, the previous year and impressed Orlando in training camp. Got the first NBA call-up of the season, got a two-way. And, again, I've been up and down with the G League and NBA for most of the season, but I got a couple of opportunities this year for the actual Orlando Magic and try to make the most out of it.
For sure. I mean, I can remember one of those moments myself. You guys are on the road against the Lakers in Staples Center. You have a couple big time dunks. I mean, talk about what that moment was like for you. Playing up against the Lakers, playing against LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and just being able to kind of make an impact on the game.
Again, it just goes to show who the Orlando Magic are. They over time I've earned some of their trust, and we had some injuries at that time, and they needed somebody to step up, and they used myself and Gary Clark, who just had a 10-day during that time, and we just did what we did. I mean, we just tried to make the most out of it. You never know. So we always just try to stay ready. The coaching staff do a good job, keeping you on top of plays, making sure all the X and O's, and then whenever your time is, the opportunity presents itself, you just gotta be ready. And I think I did a pretty good job at that time.
Now, right now, you obviously are in Orlando at the NBA bubble. We've been hearing a lot about the snitching that's been going on, and the people there or not being there. They've been talking about the food on Twitter and whatnot. So, for you, well, first of all, we'll talk about the food. What's the food like down there in Orlando? Is it true that the food's bad? What's your take on that?
It's bad for sure. But the first 2 days you get here, you got to quarantine. So your team don't really have say so on what you get. So all the stuff you've seen on Twitter, that was kind of just Disney giving us food just because we need food, but it wasn't based on our team nutritionists and team chefs and all that. But after those 2 days quarantining up, we had certain say in what we get. So I mean, it's getting better. It's not the greatest food, but I mean, I think it's good enough that we could make it work. And then there's 6 or 7 approved restaurants you could order delivery from now. So I mean, they're trying to make it work for us.
So, I mean, talk about what your day looks like. I mean, give us a normal day in the bubble. Obviously, you guys are pretty much quarantined. You can't really do too much. So, for you, what does a normal day in the bubble look like for you guys and your Orlando Magic teammates?
So wake up, you gotta everybody gotta take your own temperature and do some oxygen tests for an app. Put your stuff in the app, and then it'll tell you whether you're cleared to leave your room, basically. So if you, based on what you put in the app, sometimes you're either allowed to leave the room or you're not. But after that, go get breakfast. Usually got to practice 10, 11 in the morning. then after that, I mean, it's pretty much up to you. Like some people be tired, so they just chill in their room. But then, like it's players' lounge where we got like ping pong, pool tables, uh, video games, stuff like that. You got fishing, you got bowling, um, you got team boat, you got golfing. So I mean, it's stuff to do, but depending on like your team and your schedule, it might be hard to schedule some of them things. But I mean, it's definitely things to do, especially if you know if your team gets all like your practice and stuff out the way early.
Now, are there opportunities for players to like get extra shots up if you wanted to go in the gym and work out, or is that just kind of is it only like your team practice and then that's it for the day?
Nah, you get your practices and then later that night, I think every team get like a 2-hour slot or something like that. So I mean, if you want to go get extra work, you can definitely get your extra work in.
So I mean, we've seen players. I've seen Matisse Thybulle from the Sixers start a YouTube channel. We've seen guys in the game room. I mean, what are you doing to kind of keep busy and just take advantage of the free time that you have? When you're just idly in your hotel room.
I mean, for the most part, I'll be on Call of Duty. Y'all seen like I've been fishing. I've been fishing. It's either fishing or Call of Duty. Like the only problem with fishing is usually super hot outside, so you don't want to be in the sun all day. But for the most part, I'm just playing video games, chilling in the room.
You getting some wins on that COD, man? You are getting killed, man. What's up?
Nah, man, I'm a shooter.
Oh, all right. Say no more. Say no more. Now, I heard that there were, a lot of precautions being taken because of the COVID. Obviously, I heard that there was these sensors that kind of alarm you if you're within 6 feet of another person. Is that something that has been implemented over there, or like what's it like? There's everybody dealing with the virus. What are some of the things that the NBA is doing to just kind of make sure that it's safe for players?
Yeah, like you said, with the sensors, it's not mandatory, but if you did wear it, it only makes noise and only alerts you if you're like within 6 feet of another team. So like your team, you could be next to each other and it won't go off. But if you're in contact with like a different team and you're within 6 feet of them, it'll go off. But I mean, it's like everywhere you go is hand sanitizer, is like a bunch of like sanitary items all around the campus, is like signs everywhere that's saying like wear your mask, blah blah blah. It's people walking around making sure you wearing masks and stuff like that. So they're definitely trying to take the right steps to make sure we stay safe.
Right. So are you allowed to be around players from other teams, or is this a situation where you're only allowed to be with your teammates? Like if you go to the players' lounge, or if you're fishing, are you allowed to be around other players, or like how does that work?
I think it's more so like I think for the most part is like you could be around whoever you want. I think I'm not really sure. For the most part, I've just been around my guys. I mean, I've seen people, like I passed people walking around and stuff like that. But like most activities, I'm like with my guys. But I think the important thing that they try to emphasize is just make sure, like you're not all in like somebody's face. You're not like when time presents itself, make sure you got your mask on. Avoid like shaking hands as much as possible, stuff like that. But I don't think it's that much restriction on. Like I don't think they're limiting us from like. So like I don't think they're limiting us from like being around other people.
Yeah, right. Now you guys are currently sitting in the 8th seed right now, half game behind the Nets. So what do you guys think? You guys have to do to try to move up to that 7th seed, possibly 6th seed, and then try to avoid the Bucks, and then getting into the postseason. What do you guys think you have to do to try to be as successful as you can?
I think like these practices, we just got to stay locked in. I mean, our first 4 or 5 practices, we look really good. I think we're further ahead than we thought we would have been, like coming off that long break. But every day it seemed like our guys are locked in, trying to get better, trying to buy into how he's playing at the end of the year. We one of the better teams, before the break. So basically, we're just trying to play our game and buy into what like we need to do.
I mean, you mentioned it a little bit. I mean, you have this pandemic breakout, and you're essentially off for 3 months in the middle of the season, and now you guys are coming back and trying to get back in shape. what has it been like being back on the court? Do you think guys are rusty? I mean, have you guys been able to kind of build that chemistry back? I mean, what has it been like just from a basketball standpoint, being back on the court after having so much time off?
I think the biggest thing for us is just like getting back in basketball shape. I mean, like pre-bubble, we was allowed to work out in the arena and stuff like that, but it was all individual. So I mean, it wasn't like guys weren't doing anything, but again, basketball shape is different. Like live basketball game shape is different from just working out every day. And like one of the biggest things for us is just trying to get back in basketball shape. Off the court, like we got good team chemistry, and I think that carries over to the court. But again, basketball shape is something we just got to get back into.
Yep. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of discussions about, what's going on around us in society right now with, the Black Lives Matter movement and, the NBA allowing guys to have names on the back of their jerseys or not. And, has that been something that players have been discussing in the bubble, or have you guys at the Magic discussed anything that you guys want to do, or what have you heard in regards to the movement, that players are planning to do, or, on that front?
I know, like, for the most part, if you was going to have someone in your jersey, you had to already let, like, the league know so they could order the jerseys. But I think they said it was, like, 17 players or something, like, in the whole league that wasn't changing their name. But I seen something that Kawhi said, and he was saying, like, at the end of the day, you could put whatever you want on the back of your jersey, but it really don't do that much if you don't take action. So I think it's good that we're doing this. Like a lot of people are going to be tuned into the NBA just because there's no sports on and stuff like that. So it raises awareness, but again, like I think raising awareness is just like the beginning of it, just like the first, like one of the smaller steps into a bigger problem.
So, I mean, do you have any plans of wearing something on the back of your jersey? Any specific names that you want to let the people know if you have any plans to, have a certain phrase on the back of your jersey, or are you going to rock the last name?
Nah, I put how many more on my jersey. Like we see like a lot of injustices, and especially now with social media, a lot of stuff that we wouldn't see without social media is coming out. So like, now how many is enough, like before changes start happening. So that's what I decided to go with.
You heard it here first. All Facts Media. BJ Johnson is going to be having how many more on the back of his jersey. Now, the last question I had for you, I don't know if Andrew had anything else that he wanted to ask you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You're out here playing COD. So, Drew, anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, give us so far in the bubble, what has been the most peculiar thing that you've seen so far?
Man. I think it's just like how tight security is. I mean, I don't think people was like expecting it to be like as locked down as it is. Like it's like people on patrol and like the lakes and stuff, like on boats, making sure you don't like go crazy. So I mean, it's just a lot. Like it's some high level security out here for sure.
Top 5 security of the world. Man, well, we thank you for your time, BJ, man. We definitely are going to be wishing you guys luck. On behalf of us here at All Facts Media, we're going to be rooting for you guys in the Orlando Magic. Stay safe and go get some wins, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you.